I'm Frank Terry, owner of this little theatre in Wagin, 86 years old, so reckon I'm doing pretty well. So far as I know, this would be the only one that's owned, the only theatre that's owned by an individual, and it's also completely independent. So far as I know, this would be the only one with what we call a hard top. That's a building with a roof on. I started off actually in Kalgoorlie, taking interest in movies, and my parents bought me a little hand-cranked camera, projector, and I used to charge a penny for the kids to see it. It was wartime then, and we used to give the money for the war efforts. I used to go up into the projection room at the Kalgoorlie, took an interest in that, used to be allowed to stand and watch the projectionists run the projector for the afternoon. He used to always say, "No, don't you touch anything." I never ever did. Eventually got a licence. With a partner, we opened a cinema in the suburbs of Perth. The opportunity came to come down here at Wagin and run the drive-in cinema. So I took on that. Eventually, like all drive-ins, folded up. Then I remember this building, it became empty, the SEC, so I bought it, and wife and I decided we could get about 100 seats into it, so we'll give it a go as a picture theatre. The cinema was originally a powerhouse, and in the body of the theatre were three diesel engines, one very old one and two high-speed diesels. So that's all been cleared out, and we've replaced that with seating. It seats about 76 people, and that seems to suit the size of the town. And we run 4 nights a week, including a matinee. That's the screen. It was imported from America, that one. The theatre's now run by a voluntary group, and without volunteers we just wouldn't exist. We wouldn't be able to pay the bill, so volunteers are very good to come along and do the projection work, and ticket seller, and people working in the little kiosk.
I decided to volunteer because of my interest in photography and films, and I was so excited to see that something like this could happen and that we actually had a building that had facility to have a movie. What I do for the cinema is with the liaison of the other volunteers, and Frank and Graham, I pick the movies, so I have all the connections with the studios, so I order the movies, make sure that we get the promotion material down here, so the posters and the trailers. I also do the shopping, restocking, selling tickets, ingesting. We try to be able to do everything.
Well, Graham Harvey. At the moment I'm sort of semi-retired. I do some casual work at the local library, Wagin Library and Gallery. At the cinema I do a lot of things. I work with a projectionist. I work in the kiosk and also the box office.
This is a ticket office, and combined with the shop part of it, with popcorn and confectionery, all that type of thing. Around here is our little foyer, very tiny, but it's not used a great deal.
We advertise locally, so I've got the CRC, which is a community resource centre they charge us a small fee to print our posters. CRC distributes them around their network and in town. It is word of mouth. People hear about a movie, they come and attend it, and then obviously the more publicity we get for this cinema, the better it is.
We'll take you through to the projection room. Up a few stairs. There we are with the projector. Now, of course, digital, and it's been replaced. Once there was two 35mm projectors in here for many, many years, about 30 years actually. They stopped making film, so we had no alternative to switch to a digital system, and that's how it is now. Much, much better reproduction.
It's very expensive. What we've got here cost around $50,000, and which is a lot for a small theatre.
Pia and I put the money in, or Pia put 15 in, and I put the other 35, 36, something like that. It's quite a big cost to us, but if we don't get it back, we don't get it back. We're not going to worry about it too much. We've yet to earn a profit. It never has, actually. It was a job of love, and we kept this going more or less for the fun of it. People enjoyed it, and we enjoyed running it, so that's what we did. The theatre means a lot to the local people because at one time we were battling to keep going. They actually put a live concert on here and handed over a cheque for us just to keep going. The only way to live, I think, is to appreciate the people you've got around you. If you can, look after them if they need looking after. We do a lot of that in a country town. I think it's great life in the country, relaxed. We have a little problems, like it costs a lot more for goods and that sort of thing, but it's made up in comradeship, I think.
Most of my life I grew up in cities, but I've been living in the country now for a number of years, and I don't think I'd never go back to the city to live if I could avoid it. It's quiet here, I'm having a good time. Where I'm living at the moment, I've got Wagin Lake, and I'm living in a house. We're looking down over Wagin Lake, and it's wonderful. It's a beautiful place.
We're here to see Bad Moms 2.
Yeah, to watch a movie.
Yeah, I'm here just to catch up with the girls, you know, watch a movie and chill out.
I think they're fabulous volunteers, and I think it's fabulous that we have an old cinema that's still running, and it's great for our community, and people travel from all around the district to come to the Little Gem, or the Betty Terry Theatre now, isn't it?
People have always wanted to gather together, I think, and that makes the big difference between watching movies at home or going out to the movies with other people present, particularly if there's somebody, it's a comedy, somebody's got a very funny laugh, and it'll go right through the theatre, and they have a great time when that happens. My wife was a ticket seller here for about 28 years, and she died 3 years ago, so miss her. And then this used to be called the Little Gem Theatre, and since she died, I've kept this in her name as Betty Terry Community Theatre, and that's how it is today. I was running 16mm narrow gauge film in a little hall in Riverton, and Betty was caretaking this little hall, so I went there to book the hall, and I saw Betty and I thought, oh gee, she looks all right. And we eventually got together because of my mother. Said, why don't you go around and see that girl? And I did, and of course we finished up by getting married about 18 months after that. So yeah, it was great. Enjoyed life.